Hey, hey. I hope you can hear me because I don't know if I can hear myself. Should I be hearing myself? I don't think I should be. Hmm. Oh, here we are. My microphone is clipped onto my shirt in a funny way because Ollie told me it was better to have the mic farther away from me rather than clipped onto the top of my shirt. So we're doing it. We are doing it. Well, my friend, I am so excited to welcome you to the introduction of a brand new podcast series. I cannot believe that I am recording this right now. This is the introduction to season 1 of a brand new podcast that we've called Help Me Understand. I'm so excited to bring this podcast to you, and this is a short introduction video to give you the scoop on what you should expect from this podcast series. To begin with, this podcast was born from a frustration that I have in trying to piece together all of the fragments in the world that are pointing you in the direction of a better life. And it has been very challenging for me personally to read the books, listen to the podcasts, look at the stuff that's going on social media, and to make something concrete out of it in a way that makes my life better. There's tons of advice out there, but it seems like all of the advice is really siloed. It exists in its own little pocket and it's not really aware of the broader context in which it exists. Or it's trying to sell us something, and so therefore it comes across as a little bit sleazy, and we're kind of like, oh, I don't trust your intentions behind this. What exactly are you really saying? If you weren't selling this, would you tell me the same thing? And then there's sometimes just the straight up contradictory advice out there. You'll scroll on one post and it will say, carbs are the enemy. And then you keep scrolling and the next post says, carbs are essential. They're your main form of energy. And I know from personal experience how challenging it can be to read between the lines on some of this stuff and to flesh out my own context for reality so that it is able to include all of the different things that everybody is saying. And so here I am, still very confused, feeling pretty good, feeling a little not certain about things, but certain in the way where there are things that I've learned that have made my life better by leaps and bounds, exponential difference night and day from the person I am experiencing myself to be today versus the person that I was 3 years ago, 5 years ago, all the way back in time. And I want to continue this trend. And I want to bring you along for the ride with me. I want to get into all the nooks and crannies about the stuff that really confuses us about how we should be living our lives in the modern day with the problems that we've never had to face before. And we can be so hard on ourselves sometimes, thinking that we should already have the answers and we should already know how to live the best way. And because we're not, this is some personal failure. But what if it wasn't like that? What if it was just we're living in a really hard time right now? We're dealing with problems that we've never had to deal with. And so we have to investigate. We have to stomach confusion. We have to dig around. We have to get dirty. We have to stomach the frustration that comes up when we're like, oh, I just want to know something already. So, my friend, it's time for us to dive in together. Season 1, I'm talking to 6 different guests on all kinds of topics. We've got 2 physical therapists on, we've got yoga teachers, strength trainers, meditation people. These are some of the smartest people I know in these areas, and I always respect their opinion. I've known all of them in little ways, through Instagram or email lists. I've been exposed to their work a lot. And some of them I have decades long relationships with, and others this is our very first conversation that we've ever had before. So you'll get to really go along for the ride with me. And I'll be real, like these were hard episodes to do because I'm not used to asking questions. And so I did record also a solo cast that is actually episode 1, where I kind of get into the details around what it was like to actually go through this process and also to dig deep and figure out my why. Yes, I'm curious about this, but why am I so curious about it? Why am I this way and not some other way? And my goodness, there's a lot there. So you can go listen to that episode right now. That's episode 1, The Story of Why. Very interesting story about my mom and growing up, if you want to hear a little bit about that, a little gossip. And then the next episode is with one of my favorite yoga teachers of all time, who also happens to be a physical therapist and just so smart about the body. So we talk all about aging, how to age well, how to age better than how we seem to be aging. And I know you're just going to get so much from it. All right, that's it. We did it. We're doing it. Thank you for joining me along for this ride, and I will see you at the next episode.